The average car payment in America in 2026 is $738 per month. The average loan term is 68 months. Let that sink in. That's $50,184 you're paying for a car that'll be worth maybe $18,000 when you're finally done with the payments. You're standing in a parking lot looking at your car. You just made this month's payment, $548 auto-drafted from your account this morning. And you felt it, that sick feeling, because you know that's money you'll never see again. I'm going to show you the real cost of that payment, not just the dollars, your future, the life you could have had, the freedom you traded for sheet metal and a loan. And I'm going to show you why the car industry designed it this way, why they need you trapped in this cycle, and how to get out. Subscribe if your car payment is eating your life. My name is Sarah, and I need to tell you something that's going to make you angry. That car payment you think is $500 or $600 or $700 per month? That's not the real cost. Not even close. Let me show you the math they don't want you to see. Start with a typical scenario. You buy a $35,000 car. That's right around the average new car price in America. Not a luxury car, not an exotic. Just a normal mid-size SUV or sedan. You put down $3,000. If you even have that. A lot of people put down zero, but let's say you have $3,000 down. You finance $32,000. The dealer gets you approved at 7% interest for 72 months. That's 6 years. And these days, that's considered a good rate. Your monthly payment comes out to $548. You drive off the lot thinking, okay, $548 a month. I can handle that. That's what my apartment used to cost. I'll make it work. But here's what you didn't calculate. $548 per month for 72 months is $39,456 total. You financed $32,000. You're paying $39,456 in interest. That's $7,456 you're giving to the bank for the privilege of paying for this car over time instead of upfront. That $7,456 could have been an emergency fund, could have been a vacation, could have been invested and grown to $15,000 over 20 years. But instead it's gone, vaporized. You're never getting it back. But that's just the loan. That's just the beginning of the real cost. Let's talk about insurance. A $35,000 financed car, you're required to carry full coverage. That's $150 to $200 per month depending on your age and record. Let's say $180 per month. $180 times 72 months is $12,960. Almost $13,000 in insurance over the life of that loan. Gas. You're driving this car to work, to errands, to life. Even with decent fuel economy, you're probably spending $200 per month on gas. That's $14,400 over 6 years. Maintenance. Oil changes every 6 months. Tires every 3 years. Brakes. Filters. The stuff that wears out. Even on a new car with a warranty, you're paying $100 per month average over those 6 years. That's $7,200. Registration and property tax on the car varies by state, but let's say $150 per year. Over 6 years, that's $900. Add it all up. Loan payments, interest, insurance, gas, maintenance, registration. $39,456 plus $12,960 plus $14,400 plus $7,200 plus $900. The true 6-year cost of owning that car is $74,916. Read that number again. $74,916. And at the end of those 6 years, when you've paid off the loan, what's the car worth? If you've taken care of it, maybe $12,000. Maybe $15,000 if you're lucky. You paid $74,916 for something that's now worth $12,000. You lost $62,916. That's the cost of that decision. Do the math with me on your own car. Pull up your loan statement. Look at your monthly payment. Multiply by the number of months left. Add your insurance, gas, and maintenance for those months. See your true number. This isn't to shame you. This is to see clearly. Because you can't make a different choice until you see what the current choice actually costs. Now let me show you the part that actually breaks my heart. The opportunity cost. That $548 monthly car payment. Over 72 months, you're paying $39,456 total. Remember? What if you didn't spend that money on a new car? What if you bought an $8,000 used car cash instead? A 2016 Honda Civic with 80,000 miles. Reliable. Paid off. No payment. And what if you invested that $548 per month into a simple index fund? The market averages 8% annual return historically. Nothing fancy, just basic investing. Here's what happens. $548 per month for 72 months at 8% annual return becomes $58,469. You'd have almost $59,000 in investments. Plus, you'd own a paid-off car that's still worth $4,000 or $5,000. Instead, you have a 6-year-old car worth $12,000 and $0 invested. The difference? You'd be $47,000 wealthier if you bought the cheaper car and invested the payment difference. But let's keep going, because most people don't buy one car and stop. They buy cars over and over their whole life. Let's say you keep this cycle going for 20 years. Every 6 years, you buy another $35,000 car. Or you keep making car payments constantly rolling from one to the next. That's $548 per month for 240 months. If you invested that instead at 8% return, you'd have $324,872 after 20 years. Read that again. $324,872. That's your retirement. That's your kids' college. That's your house paid off early. That's your freedom to quit the job you hate. That's the life you could have had. Your $35,000 car didn't cost you $35,000. It cost you $324,872 in future wealth. This isn't theory. This isn't me exaggerating. This is a math. This is what opportunity cost means. Every dollar you spend on something is a dollar you can't invest. And that dollar would have become $3 or $4 or $5 over time. When you finance a depreciating asset, you're not just losing the money you pay. You're losing all the money that money could have become. That car payment isn't just taking $548 from you this month. It's stealing your future. And they know it. They're counting on you not doing this math. So how did we get here? How did we get to a place where the average American owes $50,000 on a car loan? Let me show you how they trapped you. In 2010, the average car loan term was 60 months, 5 years. Anything longer was considered risky. In 2026, the average loan term is 68 months, and loans of 72, 84, even 96 months are common. 8 years. You can get an 8-year car loan now. Why did this happen? Because car prices went up and incomes didn't. The average new car costs $48,000 now. The median household income is $75,000. People can't afford the monthly payment on a 5-year loan anymore. So what did the industry do? Did they make cheaper cars? Did they help people buy less expensive vehicles? No, they stretched the loans, made them longer. Because the longer the loan, the lower the monthly payment. And the only number people look at is the monthly payment. The dealer says, "We can get you to $500 a month." And you say, "Okay, I can afford $500. You don't ask how many months. You don't calculate the total. You just hear $500 and think, "I can do that." But here's what happens with these long loans. For the first 4 or 5 years, you're underwater. You owe more than the car is worth, because cars depreciate fast, especially in the first 3 years. If you total the car in an accident, insurance pays what it's worth, not what you owe. You're still on the hook for the difference. If you try to trade it in early, you're rolling negative equity into the next loan. Which brings me to the second trap, the trade-in rollover. You bought a car 3 years ago. You owe $18,000 still. The car is worth $14,000 now. You're underwater by $4,000. But you're tired of this car. Or it needs repairs. Or you just want something new. So you go to the dealer. The dealer says, "No problem. We'll give you $14,000 for your trade. We'll pay off your loan, and we'll roll that $4,000 difference into your new loan." You think, "Great, they're helping me. They're making this easy." Here's what actually happened. You just bought a $35,000 car and a $4,000 mistake. Your new loan is $39,000 plus interest. Now you're paying for 2 cars, the one you're driving and the one you got rid of. For the next 6 or 7 years, every payment includes money for a car you no longer own. And here's the truly insane part. 3 years from now, you'll be underwater again. And the cycle repeats. This is how people stay in car debt their entire lives. They're always paying for the last car and the current car. They never get ahead. They never own anything free and clear. The dealers know this. The lenders know this. They're counting on it. Because a customer in a permanent payment cycle is a customer for life. Longer loans equal more interest paid. Trade-in rollovers equal bigger loans. Bigger loans equal more profit. It's designed this way, and they use psychology against you. You work hard, you deserve nice things, you deserve a car that makes you feel successful, you deserve leather seats, and a backup camera, and that new car smell. They don't show you the spreadsheet. They don't show you what you could have invested. They show you the monthly payment and the shiny vehicle, and they get you to sign. You're not stupid for falling for this. You're human, and they've spent billions of dollars figuring out how to manipulate human psychology. But now you know. Now you see the trap. Here's the defense I hear constantly. I need reliable transportation for work. I can't risk a used car breaking down. A new car gives me peace of mind. Let me show you the math on this argument. You buy a new $35,000 car. The moment you drive off the lot, it loses $7,000 in value. That's year one depreciation. You just lost $7,000 for the privilege of being the first owner. You buy a 3-year-old version of the same car for $22,000. It loses $2,500 in value year one. You saved $4,500 in depreciation. That $4,500 pays for a lot of repairs, like years worth of repairs. Here's a real example. You buy a 2019 Toyota Camry with 60,000 miles for $18,000 cash. Worst case scenario, you need a major repair. Transmission, engine work, something big. That's $2,000 to $3,000. Even if you spent $2,000 per year on repairs, which you absolutely will not, that's $166 per month in repair costs. Compare that to your $548 monthly payment plus higher insurance on a new car. You're still saving $400 per month minimum. And here's the reality. A well-maintained Toyota or Honda with 60,000 miles is just broken in. Those cars go 200,000 miles easily. You're not going to spend $2,000 a year on repairs. You're going to spend maybe $500 a year. Oil changes, brakes, tires on schedule. Reliable transportation doesn't mean new. It means mechanically sound. A 5-year-old Honda with maintenance records is more reliable than a brand new Nissan with a CVT transmission that's going to fail at 90,000 miles. The reliable equals new equation is marketing. It's sold to you by people who profit from you buying new cars. Reality check. I drove a 2008 Honda Civic until last year. Bought it in 2018 with 95,000 miles for $6,500 cash. Drove it for 5 years. Put 60,000 more miles on it. Spent maybe $2,000 total on repairs over those 5 years. Sold it for $4,000. Total cost of ownership, $6,500 minus $4,000 plus $2,000 repairs equals $4,500 for 5 years of transportation. That's $75 per month. Compare that to $548 per month. I saved $473 per month for 60 months. That's $28,380. That money is invested, it's compounding, it's building my future. Your peace of mind is costing you $28,000. Think about that. Now let me ask you a controversial question. Do you need 2 cars? The average American household has 2 cars. Average combined cost between payments, insurance, and gas is over $1,000 per month for 2 cars. Question: could you make it work with 1 car for even 6 months? I know. You both work, different schedules, different locations. It's impossible. Is it though? Or have you just never seriously asked the question? What if one person bikes to work 2 days a week? What if one person takes the bus? What if you carpool with a coworker? What if you negotiate work from home 2 days a week? What if, on the days where one person truly needs a car, they take an Uber for $15 each way? That's $30. Even if you did that 5 times a month, that's $150. Still way less than a $500 car payment, plus $150 insurance. I'm not saying this works for everyone. Some people live 40 miles from work in opposite directions. Some people work nights and weekends. Some people have kids with complex schedules. But most people never even run the numbers. Never even consider it as an option. If you could eliminate 1 car payment for 6 months, That's $3,000 saved. That's an emergency fund. That's a down payment on getting out of debt. That's breathing room. At minimum, ask the question. Run the scenario. See if it's possible. You might surprise yourself. Here's what you do. 3 steps. Step 1. Calculate your true cost this week. Pull up your car loan, write down total amount owed, monthly payment, months remaining. Multiply payment times months. That's what you'll pay total. Add your insurance, gas, and maintenance for those months. See your real number. Step 2. Before you buy your next car, commit to a 72-hour no-buy rule. No car purchase decision for 72 hours after seeing it. Dealers rely on same-day emotional decisions. 3 days later, emotion fades, math becomes clear. Run the opportunity cost. What could you invest instead? Step 3. Exit strategy. If you're in a payment, pay it off aggressively. Every extra $100 to principal saves months and interest. If you're underwater and drowning, consider selling private party, taking a small personal loan to cover the gap. Buying a $5,000 car cash. Yes, you take a hit, but you stop bleeding $548 every month. If you're paid off, never finance again. Save the payment amount to yourself. Buy your next car cash for $10,000. I drove that 2008 Civic until 2023. Everyone said I deserved better. I was successful. Why was I driving that? Because that choice freed up $500 per month. Over 5 years, I invested that $500. It became $38,000. That's my house down payment fund now. Your car payment isn't just $548. It's your future house, your kids' college, your early retirement, your freedom to walk away from the job you hate. If you're rethinking your car situation, hit like. Comment your monthly payment. Let's calculate what it's really costing you. Share this before someone you love signs an 84-month loan. Your future self is begging you to see this clearly. Listen to them.